It looks all right. And by all right, I mean all right. I'm hearing my voice. Why am I hearing an
Yep.
echo?
It's my other computer
Oh,
here.
okay.
Second, let me
No
mute
worries.
it.
No worries. All right. So, did you get the link, Nick?
Yeah.
It's on Twitter too.
Just know that my Audacity, I forgot to clear up my old track, so I just now started again. It's fine.
Oh my god. Can we start over?
We started on
John,
Marshall, don't hate me.
I just kind of do, but
Just mark it
I
on
can't.
a sheet.
It's so much more difficult. Can we just start over? We're gonna start over. Stop.
You guys, I'm so sorry.
Just
It's
stop.
all
it.
right.
Stop it. Clear it. Start over. You ready?
This is the first time I've ever had her do this, okay?
Whatever, dude. We recorded 12 episodes of the other one.
And then I close it.
I know.
And
I'm
I don't have
messing
to.
with it. I'm messing with it. I'm just teasing. Okay, you ready? Okay, 3.
Yes.
Hey,
Wait.
I got to get rid of this one. I already started.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I forget how much fun it is to like have multiple people on this. Okay.
I know, right?
All right, ready?
No.
No. Okay.
You just, I know.
I ain't mad at you, Skeen. You do this with me a couple times a month.
I'm just not used to doing this 3-way thing.
It's my first time, too.
Aw, it's adorable. It's all our first times. Make-
All right, now I'm ready.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Is everybody up?
Oh, crap.
Yes.
What do you mean by
Marshall.
Fuck's sake.
It's fine. It's totally working.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Sometimes I just want to cry. And you know why? It's for moments like this. It's moments like this.
Moments like this that it's totally recorded what we put you through. Yep.
You're lucky I like you
Let's
guys.
just say I'm glad I'm not editing this.
Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare.
For
Nightmare.
real, right?
Yeah. So let's see, John. I'm trying to get your. I moved your dealie a little bit. Oh, that's okay. Oh, nobody can see us. There we go. I forgot to hit the button.
There we go.
Look professional, boys.
I forgot to hit the button. Nobody could see us for a moment. It's about as professional as it's gonna get. The way I did this. Oh, that's a nice face. Okay, so
I think it's incredible. There we go.
I work on it.
we're here.
We're live.
Don't worry, nobody was in the chat room anyway. Okay,
Oh, it's just me.
I'm pretty sure it's just me. But are you there too?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Oh, maybe it's just Twitch on delay. All right. So, Nick, when we talk about SWOTOR, are you playing any video games right now? Because Weekend Game doesn't have to be just. I didn't put your name in there, but Weekend Game does not have to be just Star Wars: The Old Republic. It could be whatever you were playing.
Let me find that in the show notes.
Oh, it's near the top. Oh, you'll see me typing.
Oh, you're so sweet.
There. If you want to, that's just a prompt. If you want to say something you've been playing, no big deal.
Okay.
Um,
Sweet.
But yeah, we talk about beverages. We talk about what we play. And skiing, that looks like a lot of SWOTOR, but it's going to take like maybe 8 minutes.
Okay. No, it's all good, man.
And it's mostly because the stuff in the beginning was stuff. Hey, Blay. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Let me know if you can hear us because we haven't started yet. And it would be nice to have someone tell us. Can you hear us all? Everybody say things.
Hello.
Things and hello and
Cool. Good. So that stuff in the pretty good. Been trying to hit it. Oh, good. Thanks, boy. I'm glad to hear, buddy. It's one of my former students from. I want to say last year. Could have been as soon as they graduate. I forget what year, but I think it was last year. Anyway, yes, last year. Nailed it. Hope you're well, buddy. So we got so again, the stuff in the beginning is like literally the stuff we were going to talk about the other week we were going to record. And then discussion topic stuff is mostly just like it's going to go quick. It's like what they're planning to do kind of things. And then we got to talk about Pucked at the start and the bottom of the show, okay?
Awesome.
Because that's important. Because someone else is in the chat room is also going to be there. It's not
Cool.
John.
It's not me.
I'm talking about
I
you,
lost.
Nick. You're going to be at Pucked. The Cantina event.
You said chat room, okay? So I was
Yeah, it's
looking who
true.
was in the chat
Did
room.
I say chat room?
You did say
did.
chat room.
Okay. Well, look, guys. It's going to be like that.
All I
tonight.
know is I'm tripping out because as I'm watching the live stream on Twitch,
Yeah.
everything's delayed.
It's a delay.
Everything. Yep.
So I'm just like, whoa. I'm watching
Yeah,
how
I-
ugly I look 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, I will say when you're doing this, just what I've learned is just watch the actual chat portion over to the right. And don't
Yeah. I actually
try to
have
watch the video.
it blocked on my screen because I have too much going on. But I only watch the chat and I look at your guys' faces in real time on Hangouts,
Oh,
if that helps.
look, thank you
That's-
for guiding me through my first three-way on this.
I know. It's
Hey.
our first live three-way, dude. Isn't this nice?
Right. And but
That might be the name of the show.
Timberlake said, yeah, it's okay if it's in a three-way.
First live three-way. Episode 157. Okay. That is probably literally going to be the name of the show. All right. So I don't know if I want to go that racy, but it'll be funny. People have known us for a while. It's fine.
Just as long as you title it "Suitable for Work," you're fine.
Suitable?
Mm,
Let's
Well,
not-
I mean,
Come on.
my clothes are still on. Thank you.
Oh. All right.
I was gonna say, as a resident HR guy, let's be really careful with that.
There might be a video we all have to watch at the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. Can I see you guys in my office for a minute?
Ugh.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So Blaze tired of hearing us talk about three ways. Shall we get going? So any questions before we get rolling from Mr. Nick, since you haven't done this before?
No, I'm here.
Well, when I talk to you or something, respond. You'll be fine.
Okay. No, it's cool.
We literally just recorded another podcast, so I think you'll be okay.
Boy, has Will been on the show recently?
Look, I'm not even gonna mention Will. If I'm being honest with you, I'm gonna say my co-host John. I literally wrote that in this week. I was like, I'm not even gonna say it. You're not even standing in. You're the current co-host of the usual podcast.
Poor Will.
It'll be fine. He'll come back at some point.
I turned my substitute job into a full-time gig. This is awesome.
I didn't tell you off air, but yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, guys, you ready?
3, 2,
Why are you
1.
counting?
Sorry,
Yeah,
not
so
my line. Not my line.
I don't need a countdown, but thank you though. That's nice of you. All right, I just making sure I got I have a backup of this BS that's happening. Okay, I got that going. Oh, good. Good thing I checked. I never hit record on Zencaster. So that's-
Wow.
Oh look, I have 8 things recording right now. Now 3. All right. No, Will has not been on recently. I'm not sure where he's at right now. He's actually, I think, in Paso Robles. He's trying to figure stuff out. Hopefully he'll be down in San Diego with us, but we can hope. But we're all here, and John's awesome, and Nick's all right. So
Oh wow.
I get by. I'll
All right.
be honest.
I'll be honest. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 157 of the Usual Podcast, the podcast where we discuss Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, and with me is my now kind of normal co-host, Mr. John Skeen. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for the new contract.
Yeah, you notice I called you normal?
Yeah, I know.
That's nice,
I'm
right?
kind of shocked. Yeah, thanks.
And also joining us this week, fresh off of another podcast I do called Just Keep Writing, is another co-host or another host or whatever you want to say, Mr. Nick Bright. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? How's it going? Glad to be on this week. It's actually been a secret fantasy of mine to be on this podcast with you.
Well, you've lurked in the chat a couple times, and I'm glad to get John here. And I think you have an agenda, and I've on purpose haven't picked your brain a little bit about your agenda, but we're going to talk about Endgame and Game of Thrones this week at the near the end of the show. And I think you might have an invested interest in Game of Thrones, which will help us out because I don't know if John watches the show. I don't think, right, buddy?
I've seen one episode, and
Yes.
it was from this season, and I sent you my notes, so I'll be able to.
Oh,
to
shoot, you
chime
did?
in.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be able to chime in with the season 8 notes that I have so far.
I'm excited. I cannot wait for this. So not
This
to
is going to be a
bring-
good night.
It's going to be a great night. So, and we're just sitting here, of course, enjoying our usual frosty beverages. John, what are you drinking tonight, dude?
Oh, Angel's Envy. It's like my all-time favorite bourbon, and it's so
Ooh.
smooth. So good stuff.
Oh, I wish I had some bourbon right
Just the name of that.
now. I know, right?
Oh, it's good stuff. How about you, Marshall? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking an old standby, one of my old favorites, Lagunitas Hop Stupid. It was $5 at the Safeway. I was there a few hours ago, and it's delicious, and I love it. And the bottle is taller than my head, which I think is important.
It works out
Very
well.
important.
Nick, what are you drinking, dude?
Dude, you guys. I go hardcore. I go Fresca.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No
Said-
calories, no sugar. All the goodness.
You only said Fresca like 15 times while I was trying to figure out the video stuff, so I knew what you were drinking. But like Will sometimes, and God rest his soul, he's still alive, I'm just messing around. Will always would sometimes say, you know, he would drink his Diet Coke and whatever. I ain't mad at you, Nick. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, some of us just don't like alcohol.
Well, you don't drink.
I'm not
That's
one
okay.
of them, but it tastes delicious. I'm just drinking Fresca right now.
All right. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Spotify, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. It's too many things. I got to cut that down. I am at Darth. It's too much. I'm at Darth Pops on Twitter. John is at John R. Skeen. Nick, what's your Twitter handle, buddy?
I am at Bright Inks
Thank you.
on Twitter.
On Twitter. You can find the usual, of course, on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Plex, all your favorite podcatchers. So like us, share us, and tell your friends. Teespring.com/store/usual podcast if you want to buy some gear. And we have the timestamps in the show notes, of course, if you're not a SWTOR fan and if you're not watching live. And before we get to all of that madness, thank you for everybody who is in the chat room. We have a long-running participant, Mr. Blay. He is also in the chat, so shout out to him. So thanks for joining us, and let's get.
man.
He is the man. So let's get this going, guys. Drinking buddies, of course. Mr. Skeen has been a long time drinking buddy, and you can also become that if you join us on Patreon and give us some money. But Zen, of course, big shout out to Zen. He's been a long time supporter, and Eddie as well. So thanks to everybody who gives us money on Patreon, and we are gearing up again for San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm going to talk about multiple times in this show. So yeah, here we are, guys. Should we get to Star Wars: The Old Republic?
Let's do it.
Dun, dun, dun,
well, I don't have a
dun,
bumper,
dun,
dude.
dun.
You're the bumper. No, so that other piece of equipment. This is a side note. Obviously, I don't even know why I'm doing this right now. But that other piece of equipment I'm trying to get has all that stuff built in. I don't have to worry about any of this madness anymore. So
Ooh,
I can-
it's like
I can-
a soundboard.
yeah, I can streamline some of this madness.
Bro,
Nice.
I
So-
told you.
What'd you tell me?
Because we're gonna use it for our Just Keep Writing.
Mhm, mhm.
I will go in on it with you.
All right, I'll hit you up after this. All right, dude. So that aside, let's get to the dev tracker, man. The PTS came up, and to be fair, we were actually going to record the other day. What, a week or so after Endgame, John?
Yeah, but then I got sick, and I apologize for
No,
that.
no. And I'm not calling you out. I basically told John, dude, you've been filling in. If you're sick, rest, and we'll do it another day. This is the other day. And now Nick is here, and Game of Thrones has happened, and all this other stuff's happened, so it's going to be good. So, but in the meantime, the PTS went up and came down for the Dantooine incursion. The feedback thread is still on the forum, so if you did jump on the PTS and do that, the feedback's always good. Makes sense. They also did a Star Wars Day sale, which I don't know. Did you partake in that, Mr. Skeen?
I did not know.
I know. I was at. I was.
And did you?
No, I was out of town, dude. It's been crazy. I've been so busy, but they had a cartel market sale from April 29th through the 6th, and I like that they do this stuff to coordinate with Star Wars Day and that kind of thing. They had a bunch of cartel market items on sale, so if you took advantage of it, great. If not, heads up, it'll be back probably next year. This I thought was interesting. Have you ever seen a PvP report?
No. Now, from another podcast that I listened to, I've heard that they've been calling some people out on the PvP report.
Ooh, tell me
cheating.
more. Tell me. Oh, for the cheating, yes.
Yes, but that's as far as I go because I normally don't do the PvP.
No, and I don't do the PvP either, but I sometimes dabble. But so this report has to do with what they did with win traders. I love this line. It says, in April, we caught and punished 15 accounts for win trading or cheating in PvP. They've suspended the accounts, reset all their ranked ratings for every character on those accounts, every character, and removed all of their ranked PvP tokens. How do you feel about that, John? Talk about the
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That's
talk
how I
about putting
feel
a
about it.
hammer down, dude. I love it. I'm excited about it.
That was a swift justice stab in the throat.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. And they've been kind of slow on this stuff for, over the years, and I love that they're like, hey, not only these are the number of accounts and what we did to them. And I think this is kind of like, and not to be dumb, but at the school we're having an issue with kids vaping in the bathrooms, and we've caught a bunch of kids, and a senior got caught recently, and he's not going to get to walk at graduation. It's like that's the kind of message they have to send. If you're going to cheat or if you're going to try to circumvent the rules, something has to happen. And I'm glad that they're putting it down. So
Yeah, there's got to be consequences. And to be honest with you, now, maybe it's because things have shrank a little bit as far as the number of players or just the timing, but the fact that they're actually finding those people
Right.
and doling out some punishments, I think is great.
Yeah.
For too long, I think a lot of people got away with things. And at the end of the day, I guess what kind of befuddles me in the whole thing is it's a game.
Right.
I mean, is it really worth investing that much time and you're paying for a sub to not be able to play because
Right.
of PvP?
And I just realized too, we skipped our weekend game, which we'll go back to in a second. But my issue is that exactly. I mean, there's other stuff here and what they've done, and I have a link in the show notes, of course, if you want to see all the things they're doing, talking about unranked PvP and that kind of stuff. But it is a game, and I barely have time to play any games, so I'm not going to spend my time cheating in a game, right? I think that's just kind of crazy.
Right.
So
Yep, I'm with you.
yeah.
I just like how they're making it public because
Yeah.
even though I'm not playing Star Wars or anything like that, you always know someone's out there cheating. And there's only ever rumors about it. And the fact that they're going to post numbers, give punishments openly, reminds me of like medieval times where you'd lock someone up by
Put
the
them in
hand in their
stocks or
neck.
something.
Yeah, and like everyone gets to see them. Or when Cersei in Game of Thrones, shame.
Right?
Shame.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh shit, I ain't doing that now. Like everyone's gonna know.
I couldn't agree more, dude. So backtracking, because apparently I skipped a whole section of a thing I normally do, which is hilarious considering I've been doing this show for 150 something episodes. Real quick community shout out to Volk, one of our longtime community members. He got a post on the official forums. He's a content creator. He does all kinds of awesome stuff. I have a link in the show notes if you don't know who Volk is. How dare you? But also go check out his stuff, and that is amazing. And
He's also on the launcher.
Yeah, and Sorterista was on the launcher not too long before that, and I love that they're doing that. And these guys have been contributing to the community for so long, and being on the launcher is a huge milestone if you're someone who has been putting. I mean, we're 7 years into this game, man. For those of us especially that have been in beta, and it's a big deal for people that have been creating stuff for this long. And Mr. Nick, you're going to get to meet Sorterista, of course, when we go down to Comic-Con. I'm
so excited.
She is super, super, super awesome. And so hats off to these content creators that are getting recognized. I think that's badass. So, grats to Volk and of course Sorterista as well. John, since I for some reason didn't talk about our week in game like we do every time, what have you been doing in game this week, my friend?
Not a lot. I was able to finish Osis with my smuggler. Yeah, so I was able to choose a side, so I chose Republic on one side, chose Empire on the other, just so I could see the story
Oh, good.
on each side, and kind of go from there. So we'll see when the next stuff comes out where it leads to.
Cool, man.
How about you?
SWTOR, I jumped in. I was trying to finish up that as well. I didn't get there. Basically, I finished up golf season. I am trying to stay sane right now. I'm working too much and I'm gone too many nights. But right now, I basically, when I've had time to play, I just kind of put on Civ 6 just to like do a thing. But it doesn't take a lot of thinking, and usually I fall asleep. But so about maybe 40 minutes the last couple weeks. That's some solid gaming, right?
Hey, it is what it is.
I've been playing some Sudoku on my phone when I
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Most of my gaming is Marvel Puzzle Quest on
And-
the phones.
and you texted me today talking about Marvel Puzzle Quest. I got to go back to that too, man. I love those not alliance events. What do they call them?
Yeah, it's an alliance
event.
Yeah.
Alliance event.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we have like a full active alliance now of 20 people, so it's
Awesome.
kind of fun.
Is
Yeah,
it-
so
is
the
it the,
rewards are pretty cool.
is it the same one or is it a new one?
It's the same alliance. It's still Griggs Boys, the one that Will started.
No, the event though.
It's Civil War. Is the
Oh,
event.
Civil War. Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I will.
please do.
Nick, games. Playing them.
Hey.
You playing any games?
Yeah, it's called dating.
That's the ultimate game, my friend.
Yeah, just kidding, guys. No, I'm really dating, but so I got on a now what's considered retro gaming. I got on a huge kick, guys. Like, my brother gave me his Wii. I just went out and I spent like $200 on like some old classic games that I just loved from like high school and stuff like that. And this is like, I even went out and got a Game Boy Advance, got
Oh, look
the
at
Golden
you.
Sun series,
Look at that.
wasted an entire weekend playing it. And the game's so old, it lost everything on me.
Oh
Like
no.
2 hours before I finished it. And it was like, oh, that sucks. But it was so much fun. It's worth it. It's worth it. But
It's worth it.
I'm actually gearing up to do another run through of Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Because BioWare,
Well, BioWare is
Hopefully.
the developer of the game we play. If you didn't know that, so
ooh,
Yeah.
I think I knew, but I didn't remember at the time. But Dragon Age 4 is coming out, rumored to be this September. I'm not holding my breath for that one because of the terrible EA launch with Anthem.
yeah, I have Anthem. I played it a little, so
Yeah, see, and I have Anthem too, and it's fun,
yeah,
but I couldn't get into the story.
right.
So, and it's I want to finish it, but yeah, that's when I'm gearing up to do that because I'm hoping you can transfer your character over.
I've been wanting to go back to Inquisition too, man. I love that game, and I love the Dragon Age series, and I have it on my computer.
It's
I just
so
didn't.
good.
I think I've started 3 different times and just never got through the whole thing. So
To show you my dedication to making sure I have my viable options to port characters,
yeah,
I have 7 different characters of all different races and classes, and I played the first like half of the game on each of them to figure out who I like the best and what setups and stuff like that. Totally nerded out on the off chance that a rumor's true
yeah.
from
Well,
3 years ago.
To be fair, it sounds like you're taking an alt approach to like MMOs, but in Inquisition. I have like 20 characters in Star Wars: The Old Republic. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've played through all the stories, and I think that's super important, man. And I love BioWare games and BioWare storytelling. And
Yeah,
we've
when
never
Bioware
talked
does
about
it
this.
right,
Yeah,
they do it right.
absolutely.
I mean, the Mass Effect game, man, like
Love Mass Effect.
it's just so incredible. But yeah, I'm hoping that Dragon Age 4 is it's gonna be the hit of the summer
Hopefully.
or fall.
Well, We'll
next-
see, we'll
or
see
next
when
year.
release date comes. That'll be good. So, back to the news, really quick. We did the PvP report. Companion issues. This just came up today, actually. I don't know if you saw this game, but this came out today. Eric Musco. He's acknowledging a lot of the issues with companions. Not to mention, just at the top of the list, obviously, is the range companions not attacking, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's game update 5.10," but really, it's been happening since launch. So it's kind of interesting that people are still mad about it. But I also wonder, why is it still happening? It's been 7 years, but it is what it is. And then there's another part of this that's companion of ineffectiveness and imbalance. And he says one of the other issues is that we hear is that some of the companions are ineffective in specific roles or imbalanced compared to other companions. And so for 6.0, the team is making a full pass across all companions to make a variety of updates, most notably to address this very imbalanced update abilities, etc. So I think it's important, considering the sheer number of companions we have in the game, that they have to address this at some point.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, like I said, before 6.0, everything will
Exactly.
be there, roll out smooth, and everybody will be happy.
Well, and I would like, and the one thing about companions, again, I want them to kind of streamline the influence a little bit. I wish I could kind of transfer it to my alts and that kind of thing, and hopefully something like that's on the way. But what I really would like is the ability to just pick someone I want to hang out with and not have to tediously hand them gifts or level them up in some way. You know what I mean? I wish that was a little bit less grindy, because there's some amazing companions, but I won't use them in battle because they're level 1 influence when I have, a level 50 Wampa. You know what I mean? So
Nope, I got you. It just makes more sense to use the one that you've already spent the money on, basically.
exactly. And it was a lot of money, millions of credits. But
I'm always accepting free gifts, so
you will get
if you need to send anything my way.
You will get no gifts from me, sir. I'm kidding. So the other thing that is coming up, someone asked today or yesterday, I think, a couple days ago. Hey, Eric, any chance that 5.10.3 will also bring the nightlife event? So the nightlife event is going to come back in the summer. And I have this under discussion topics because, let me open this one up. The May in-game events. Yeah, that's what I want. So there, with the upcoming release of 5.10.3, they've updated the event schedule. So the event schedule's been updated, and which I think is pretty cool. So they're going to have the Racco Resurgence is going to be April 30th through May 7th. Okay. And they list the rewards and stuff in there. Relics of the Gree is coming back. And then this new one, which is the Pirate Incursion, May 28th through June 4th. I haven't heard anything about the Pirate Incursion yet. Did they put that on the PTS? I don't even remember.
If they did, I didn't play it.
Yeah,
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
But I haven't.
Well, I'm going to go back and talk about that right now because they just said they published more specific details about the Pirate Incursion in-game event that's taking place on Dantooine. So that's going to come out at 5.10.3, and there is a link to all about it. This was a couple days ago. It is a lot. You have to be level 20. It's going to be available 2 weeks after 5.10.3, which I think makes sense because they're not going to launch a new event right on the heels of an update because there's always kind of issues with updates, right? During the event, you'll embark on a variety of both normal and heroic daily missions to support your faction's interests on Dantooine, so that's cool. And the rewards look awesome. There's a Walker mount, a Cath Hound mount, a Cath Hound mini pet, and all kinds of stuff. And this is going to be another reoccurring event, so it'll be in rotation, I think, with the Gree and all of that, which I think is good. I love events.
And an Ugnaught companion, too.
Oh, what? Did I miss that?
Yeah. Yeah, Ugnaught companion.
Stop it. What? Ho. That's all I want. That's all I want.
So
I will literally come back to SWTOR for an Ugnaught companion. All right. So you heard it here first, folks. I'm coming back to SWTOR. No, I haven't left. I just haven't been playing. All right. So that's amazing. Ugnaughts. Oh, I want one. Okay. The last thing I want to mention, dude, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit before I get to the Pucked thing. The last thing I want to mention is the web content roadmap, and this came out actually at the end of last month. It's 15 days old. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but what they did was they talked about what is going to be coming out on the website in tandem with updates and expansions and stuff like that, right? So they're talking about, they're just trying to be a little more transparent and give us a roadmap for things that are coming to the website, which I think is cool. There's going to be a series of blogs, updates to classes, some write-ups on the Nautilins, because that's a race that's coming in 6.0 and stuff like that, and new planets. So worth a read. It's old news, but definitely worth checking out. Any thoughts, my friend?
Cool. Nope. I'm just, it's the road to 6.0. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
So
I have a thought.
You have a thought.
I have a thought.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, guys. So I currently don't play this, right?
Currently, you don't.
Tell me why I should,
Okay.
and tell me exactly which one I should buy. Because as I look at it, there's a few different Knights of the Old Republic on there, right?
Well, it's Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Knights
Let's
of the Old Republic is the one that released years and years ago. This is a BioWare MMO. I can send you a link, but it's
I'm just saying, you guys, the way you guys are talking about things is making me
Yeah.
super interested.
just go to swotor.com, swtor.com.
Oh, look at that. So if you're listening to this and you're not playing, now you should.
Yeah. And again, we always do this segment at the top of the show because we love this game. But if anybody listening to this and actually listens to the front of the show and starts playing, join us. The game's
Please.
awesome. The game is awesome. So to bridge the gap between Nick, the game, and what's coming up, we're going to talk about Pucked 4 for a minute. We have settled on a date and time. Subject to change only in that there is a rumor out there, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything about this, but there's a rumor out there that SWTOR, or that BioWare may come back to San Diego for a Cantina event.
Really?
Pre-launch for 6.0. So if that is the case, I'm holding my. I went to the very first one, 7 years ago, I think, before the game launched. 7 years ago. It was my first con, and I was writing for TourWars.com, and it was my first time going to Comic-Con, and I got a press pass from Deirdre and Jeff. And we went down there. So I've been to every SWTOR convention, SWTOR Cantina in California. So there was one in San Francisco, there was one at the EA Studios, and there were 3 down in San Diego. So I've been to a bunch, and I love them. I really hope they come back. They usually do them on a Saturday. So right now, Pucked 4 is July 19th at 5 p.m., which is the Friday of San Diego Comic-Con at Mission Brewing Company. And we are, again, going to be in their production line area. So I'm really excited about it. I really hope that Nick's going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Which is going
I
to be
will be
awesome. And sadly, Skeen will not, but next year he will.
That is the plan.
No,
That is the plan.
Look, I'm tired of making plans, man.
Dude, I know.
We're gonna make it happen because you'll have a press pass next year. Because I'm just gonna somehow make that happen for you. So
See?
here we are.
Hey, I'm just throwing that out there right now that my Safari is now doing an update and I can't see anything all of a sudden.
Oh,
So if you lose me, I apologize. I will try to get back in as soon as I can.
I still see you.
Yeah, I
Right.
can still
I
see
don't see anything on my screen but my background
No.
and a message that says installation in progress. Please wait.
So you're saying you can't see this? You can't see the screen at all?
No, I can see my background image, but I don't have access to anything else right now.
Oh.
So
You can't see the hand gestures Marshall is making it.
Oh man, I've been flipping you off for like the second you said that. Nothing
No.
but the bird, dude. Nothing.
I don't believe you because Marshall's such a good guy.
Oh, you're right. I would never do that. So anyway, Pucked 4, come hang out with us. We're gonna talk about it at the end of the show as well because I have some Comic-Con news I'm gonna drop at the end of this. But it's super important that if you are gonna come, Let us know. Reach out to us. We also, if you are someone in the community that is maybe thinking about coming, we may be able to. We have a place that we're staying, so hit me up, DM me.
So 2 questions. Number 1 is, are you going to be live streaming?
That's the plan.
Okay.
And so, like last year, I think if I can secure this piece of equipment that we want to test, Nick and myself, we want to test this piece of equipment. If we can get this before Comic-Con, not only will you have a nice, crisp, awesome stream, but you will also have audio that will not be as hectic as it's been the last 3 years. So
Okay.
that's the
And
plan.
then, if there is a Cantina event,
Mhm.
are you going to be able to stream from there, or will that be allowed?
I'd have to talk to Musco. If there is a Cantina event, I will definitely be asking Musco, and I know Sorterista will be asking the same. We will definitely have a setup of some sort, whether that be a live stream itself or not. We will definitely have to talk to Musco. As soon as we find out if they're going to be there, that conversation will happen, I promise. Because
Gotcha.
I will, and that's why I'm saying tentatively it's on the Friday, because if they're doing theirs on Friday, we're going to switch ours with Saturday. I don't want to do it on the same night. So I want to make sure SWOTOR fans can come to both events if they want. And we're going to hopefully have some giveaways and some other stuff from BioWare. And not only that, it's just going to be freaking awesome. And I don't want to have people thinking they need to leave our event to go line up for BioWare's event, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I look forward to living vicariously through you and Will and
Oh,
Nick
my friend,
through
I'll
the
be
live stream.
sending you links and pictures and all kinds of fun stuff, and you're going to love it.
Nice.
All right, man. Shall we get to the Star Wars section of our show? Since I stayed in that section a little too long, I feel like, but it was important, I think.
Indeed.
Nick just got up and left, so here we are. All right,
No hand gestures. Okay.
we'll see. He'll be back. All right, man. So Star Wars, dude. I'm not going to talk about this first one. I am going to talk about the first one.
We have to.
We have to. I was gonna wait, but I forgot that was a different section. So, dude, we were gonna talk about this. This happened a day or two when we were gonna record, or was it that day? I don't remember.
It was actually that day.
It was
if
that
I'm not
day.
mistaken.
So we lost Peter Mayhew, of course, and he played Chewbacca in the Star Wars films. He passed away at age 74, and it's yet another painful loss in the Star Wars community. I mean, he had a lot of health problems. Obviously, he was in a wheelchair for quite a while, and that was a problem, of course. But he was with his family, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to say when people like this go, if I'm being honest.
And this is the thing about how long this franchise has been going that I hate is we're seeing the losses now as it goes along.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I mean these are people that we've literally grown up with, right? as
Exactly.
far as,
yeah.
and it makes it really, really hard. But at the same time, I mean, think of the contribution that some of these people, including Peter Mayhew, have made.
Mm-hmm.
To not just our lives but our kids' lives, and just the amazing art that they've been able to help create and the legacy that they leave behind.
Yeah.
So, while it is sad, there's a lot to be celebrated as well.
Yeah. And dude, like, my thing when I heard this, like, it was one of those things, like, I know his health was failing him. I know that was an issue. But at the same time, like, okay, so Carrie Fisher, Peter Mayhew, we lost, his name just flew out of my head, R2-D2, Kenny Baker, and it's like, we're going to see all of this as we go forward with our fandom, and every single thing that I have heard. Every convention he's been at and everything else for Peter Mayhew, was nothing but the kindest, most awesome person to meet, and really aware that his really hype. I mean, obviously, some people are more aware than others, but aware that his portrayal of this iconic character was important to the fans,
Right.
and that's super important.
And the fact that he like trained his replacement too, which I think is kind of cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
From the last episode. And one of the things I remember the most about him too is his appearance on, and you've probably seen him, his appearance on Comic Book Men.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. He was judged. It was a contest. I can't
Mhm.
remember exactly what the contest was, but just how gracious he was during that whole thing. It was pretty cool.
And I
So,
listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave. I'm a big fan of the Smodcast Network. And they were when he passed. That was one of the things, Kevin Smith has mentioned, and the Tell 'em Steve Dave guys have mentioned that he was on, Comic Book Man, and he was amazing, and they loved him being there. And it's heartbreaking. I really want to go back and watch that episode again, but it's tough, man. It's tough, But he will be missed, of course, as Kevin Smith says, big bucket of win, and he was Chewbacca, dude, and he made that character. So, speaking of conventions and stuff, there is a chance, which I think the chance is a little higher than when I put this in here, but the chances of Rise of Skywalker heading to San Diego Comic-Con 2019, I think, are pretty high. Considering the film is dropping in December, talking July, I think it's probably a good bet that there's going to be some panels and a big Star Wars presence again at Comic-Con.
there's going to be a trailer drop then.
And here's my issue. Not that I have an issue with Star Wars being at Comic-Con. It's that when Star Wars is at Comic-Con, if the crowds could get crazier, they're 10 times more than they could be for things like for any panels that are Star Wars related, for any for Hall H, if there is anticipation of a Star Wars panel. Do you see where I'm going with this? So,
Right.
So
You have to get in line the day before.
at least, and I think that's gonna be for the last 2 years without Star Wars there. I've been able to, I pretty much got there the morning of and got in for the first panels in Hall H and got to watch the Doctor Who panels from the last 2 years. I got to see Peter Capaldi say farewell, and I got to see the new Doctor, the female Doctor, up there for the first time, and that was the last 2 years, and that was because I feel like there wasn't a Star Wars or a Game of Thrones panel in anticipation, right? And I got to see a pretty cool Predator panel last year too. That was kind of fun. But so I think it's going to happen. I think the crowds are going to be insane, and I don't know. It's going to be crazy, dude. I don't know, but it's always crazy though.
Dude, you're still going to be at Comic-Con.
I know. I'm not complaining. I just honestly, it's just I don't know. Like I said, after this is like I think going to be my 7th, maybe 8th year. It's I'm getting older, man. It's hard to move around through those crowds for that many days and stand in lines and stuff, and it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited. There's no scenario where I stand in line for a day and a half and try to watch that panel. I mean, that's just not a thing. So I'm going to enjoy my con and go other places and have some fun. But I'm not going to try to see this panel. Star Wars fans are too rabid and too crazy when it comes to Comic-Con. So
I think we've lost Nick completely.
yeah, he'll be back.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. He had to restart his computer. Let's see. Let me know when you're coming back? Question mark? All right. So one other thing is there's some release dates that have been announced, and I kind of melded. This is Marvel and Star Wars a little bit, but I'm going to kind of focus on the Star Wars part. There, obviously, we have the live action stuff coming to Disney Plus, but there is. Let me find this. So Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and David Weiss are working on projects in the Star Wars universe, as we know. This is, let's see, hold on. Kathleen Kennedy basically said the next Star Wars film is going to be December 16th. So we do have a release date finally for that. They were just saying December before, so it's that same time frame. So December 16th. Okay. Let's see here.
Which is okay. I think 3 years in between is going to be enough to recreate quite a bit of hype.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I'm actually kind of okay with them backing off the anthologies just a little bit. So I think it'll be fine. It's nice to have a little bit of anticipation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In this article, this is from the Nerdist. They put a bunch of stuff about Marvel in here as well. James Gunn, obviously, is coming back to Guardians 3. There's going to be a Shang-Chi film and an Eternals film. Doctor Strange 2, Black Widow prequel, and all this other stuff. So, so the New Mutants is the only one that has a release date. And it's been a while since they've been talking about it. It's going to be April 3rd, 2020.
Yeah, it's only been pushed back like 7 times.
So many times. I feel like since we started the show, we've been talking about New Mutants. And it won't include Gambit, which is now totally gone from the slate, which is a bummer because we've literally been talking about Gambit since I started this show, and I was looking forward to Gambit because he's my favorite X-Men. But it is what it is. This will blow your mind. The James Cameron Avatar sequels, they have official release dates. The last one is apparently going to come out in December of 2027.
Jeez. So
Isn't that insane,
here's what I'm.
Come on, right?
I'm not saying Avatar was a bad movie, but I didn't find it to be that great of a movie.
No, me either.
And to say we're making all these sequels to keep it going on and on, it better be pretty creative because I don't see it. All I see is a big loss there. But hey, we'll see what happens.
I think what's interesting about the Avatar thing, dude, is that they, there's the Avatar land, there's this theming around it, and the hype behind once they finally release one of those films, like that's gonna send people to the theme parks and all that stuff. But like, I mean that movie came out over a decade ago. I mean, it's been about 10 years, right?
Yeah, because I think the selling point on it was just that cutting edge 3D,
right? And
it wasn't the story.
And we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I mean, Endgame is on pace to finally beat that record, which and I really feel like you said, and I don't want to slight Avatar fans out there, tweet me if you want, but I really feel like Avatar was a fine film. But really, it was that cutting-edge technology that drove that. You have to see this film because the 3D is so awesome. And you have to see this film because they were able to do this with CGI. That aside, and yes, it still holds up. It looks great. But, like, an Endgame has to be an Avatar. It has to.
It will.
It
will.
And I just, if it doesn't, it's just going to make me sad. Because,
right.
I mean... Because when the Avatar, I'm very curious to see what the Avatar sequels, what those will do box office wise. You know what I mean? Is it gonna be that? Is it gonna be an Endgame? Is it gonna be a, oh my God, you have to see this because the story's so like what's left?
It's all gonna come together.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if and when it does.
Here's how much it interests me. I got excited when I saw it, but not because I thought it was this Avatar. I thought it was the Nickelodeon series Avatar.
The Airbender, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool. They're finally going to come out with another one of those.
And I recently watched that with the kids, and they loved it. Oh, my God. And, like, I love that kind of stuff. And I love anime, and I had a blast with that. And I know, strict Avatar, The Last Airbender, like, fans weren't happy with that live action version of it. I hear the cartoon is amazing. All that aside, I love that story, and that was a really cool film. My kids loved it.
Oh,
but
yeah, my kids liked it too.
We'll see how Avatar does. Avatar
Sorry,
2.
I got us off on a tangent.
No,
so
no,
I
but
apologize for
I'm
that,
curious
but-
to see how Avatar 2 goes,
Mhm.
in 10 years after it's released or more, So, we'll see. We will see. What else we got here, dude? Oh, this is good. This is important even. Timely. The third Star Wars live action TV series was announced by Disney CEO, and what this is basically, let's see, hold on, let me find it. I think this is misleading. Hold on. Third Star Wars live action TV series. Oh, so we have The Mandalorian, which is coming, and we have the Rogue One prequel, right?
Mhm.
So wait, what the hell? Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Never mind. I'm gonna take this out because that is speculation. They are going to do another there is going to be a live action TV series, but they haven't announced it. It's one of those stupid, it's a thing but not a thing.
Were you looking for the speculation from Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah, that's what I was
Did we
looking for.
talk? Did we talk about? We didn't talk about that, did we?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about the
No,
speculation.
well, like I said, I don't know where are we at. Did she said that there's going to be another one, right?
Right. And
Oh, here it is. Bob
Okay.
Iger himself said that there's going to be a third live action Star Wars TV series that will be included in the lineup with Disney Plus, but he has not said what it's going to be or whatever. And then, of course, when we'll talk about Game of Thrones when Nick finally comes back, what's interesting about that is people are now, because I love the internet, worried, I guess, about those guys handling the next Star Wars movie because of the way they've handled Game of Thrones. It's so, yeah, it's frustrating. I hear you, buddy.
Marco.
Yeah. Hey, you there? What's up?
Marco.
Oh, he's
Hey.
back. The man is back.
Dude, that was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, you're back. Where's your dumb face? I want to get your face on here. I didn't mean that the way that came out, but
No, but at the same time, like, I want to say rude, but it's not really that rude.
it's not. So here we are. Where's your face?
I'm trying.
We just about finished up with our Star Wars section.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so you're
It was
right.
good timing.
You're right on time.
Don't worry. It's still loading.
Oh, good. So I'm gonna put up we're taking a quick break because I'm gonna go to the restroom while he's loading. Because I
No,
think I don't
I'm
want to. I don't want to do this last section without all of our panelists. Because
Are we the only ones in chat?
I'm pretty.
Is Blay still there?
I'm pretty sure. Blay, I think, had to go, but
Blay said, "What? Will's not here. I'm out."
he gone. I had. Oh yeah, be right back. Have one. Yep. We'll be right back. All right. All right, Nick. Figure it out. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. There we go.
So Nick, are you in California as well?
I'm in Utah.
Ah, very
Really?
nice.
Right?
What part of Utah?
Salt Lake Valley.
I'm assuming that's near Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it kind of encompasses the main portion of where everyone lives in Utah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Salt Lake City. Just like probably like 10 miles north
Okay.
from where I'm at. But like it's like a 30-40 mile stretch of just suburbia. So from Salt Lake City to Provo and even a little bit further south. So
Oh, you're
that's why usually I just say Salt Lake Valley.
Echo.
You're the worst.
I see your face though.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Look at that. He's huge. He's swole.
He's swole.
I'm like,
I can't even see
whole-
your face anymore. All I see is your guns.
It's like bicep city, man.
Whoa.
Holy smoke.
hey, my guns are in my dresser drawer.
Right.
okay?
Safely locked away.
I live alone, so I don't care.
Okay, here we are. All right. Where?
I don't know if that's the right answer, so.
It's an answer. Let's put that out there. Okay. All right, dude. Well, welcome back. Here we are.
Thank you.
All right. Well, where are we at? Everybody has their beverages. We're good to go. John, you ready?
Yep. I poured 2 fingers of Angel Envy, so I'm good.
Only 2 fingers?
Only 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I love it. All right. We're switching over to the usual roundup section. And this is where it's going to get interesting. So let's just cover some news. And then we're going to do a quick, probably spoiler-filled review of Endgame and Game of Thrones. Right, boys? Are we going to do
There's
this?
no probably about it. If you're asking for my opinion on it,
No, I just...
spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers.
There'll be spoilers. Okay. So real quick, this also happened while we had our brief hiatus. We lost John Singleton, unfortunately. He was, of course, Boys in the Hood, director, awesome filmmaker, and he died, I think, at 52, something like that.
Way too young.
Yeah. He did Shaft, Boys in the Hood. He did a Fast and the Furious movie. Brilliant filmmaker. Just really sad to see someone that young and talented go, honestly. I don't know if anybody have anything to say about Singleton. I don't know if you were fans of his work, but
No, I love Boys in the Hood.
Me too.
Was,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't follow directors, so
yeah.
It was one of the first like socially aware movies I can
Yeah.
remember seeing.
Well,
so
he was one of the ones to put a movie out there where it showed it showed kind of what was actually going on in black neighborhoods and that kind of thing. And I think that was really important. Tim Conway also passed away in the last day or two. I think that might have come up today. Again, 85 years old. He was a 5-time Emmy Award-winning actor, TV host, all kinds of stuff. He was best known for the Carol Burnett show, and I think that's why his name rings a bell because my mom used to love that show. And I don't know, we're at the point now where I feel like we're at the age and the point now where a lot of people like this that were influenced, that came into our lives either by our parents or by us at a young age, are starting to pass, and it's sad, really sad.
and don't forget Dorf phone call.
Right. That's great.
Those were always funny.
All right, man. So let's get to the walk in the park section, which this is not timely, sadly. If you were trying to see Star Wars Land, and you had to make a reservation for Anaheim, you should have done it already. It was earlier in the month. It's already passed and done. Reservations are full. But what they did was they had like sort of a Comic-Con-esque kind of system. Like you put in, if you were in a hotel, and you had to make a reservation, and they went quick. And what else? How else would they have done this? And I don't think, as far as I know, Disney World is not going to do a reservation system like this. but I imagine the lines are going to be just something absurd, and people are going to stand in line for days ahead of time to get into both these parks. I'm excited about the parks. I am also a Star Wars fan, clearly, because I do a Star Wars podcast, but I will not do this. I don't need to be the first one in that park.
No, it's going to be too much madness. Just
Well-
too much. Because I know for me, at least when, and I'm hoping to go in February at Disney World, but I want to be able to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm rushed because I'm taking up somebody else's time behind me too. And
Right. And I want everything to
So-
be open. In Disneyland, both attractions won't even be open yet. Only the Rise of the Resistance ride will not be open yet. It's only going to be the Millennium Falcon ride. And so
Nah.
I'm not gonna spend. And I just was at Disneyland, spent thousands of dollars, had a great time, but I'm not going to.
Thousands for Disneyland.
Okay, to be fair, some
You
context.
you have kids,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's,
I was gonna say,
it's
welcome to parents,
totally
but-
worth it.
I
But
would have went by myself. FYI, I've been to Disneyland every year since I was 4 months old. Multiple
gosh.
times most years. I've been probably more than 50 times. Okay, I'm happy to spend the money to go because that's fine with me. That's money well spent. Hey, Magic, how you doing? Long time no see. But my thing is, dude, I had no problem spending that money, but I don't want to spend that much money to stand in line to fight crowds in a park in a incomplete section of a park that I can go to, which I plan to go to in January next year with my entire family and have a great time. And I'm excited. So that's where I'm at.
I like it. You have got a good plan of action.
Hey, you're upset about the money. I can tell.
This just goes into my own mental health issues.
Uh-huh.
I don't like big crowds. I'm not going to pay money
Right.
to go on a ride where I have no control over. And if I get decapitated, well, I'm shit out of luck. Thank you, Space Mountain, for freaking me out.
Yeah, but those bars aren't close to your head, dude.
Oh, you know what? When you get told we're gonna go to Space Mountain, it just goes down in a spiral. We just want to get cooled off. I went over 4th of July in 2015 for my birthday, my first time in Disneyland, right?
Aw.
Because we were too poor growing up to make it to California from Washington, and it was cool. But I got sat in the very front.
That's the
And
that's
when
the
you-
best, dude.
Dude.
It's Space Mountain. I've been going on that ride. You know how many times I've been on that ride?
That's
I-
a tame coaster
I
too.
nev-
It's
I
actually
never-
not that bad.
It's
Nick,
not even a coaster.
look at my dumb face. I'm doing this the whole time. Woo! Screaming, top of my lungs, arms up. The whole time.
Welcome to my mental health issues. Because you're like, what the?
I'm like, why would you not do this?
Right.
Because it's a dark room and you just go in a circle and bro, you only go in one circle. So,
Woo! I went on it like 5-6 times when I was there last month. It was
Really?
amazing. Yeah.
dude, even
time.
so, I don't know.
Whole time.
I don't know what happened because there was like 3 or 4 people on my ride with me too, and they were like, "We've never been that fast before."
It's
And I was like,
picked up.
Great.
Well, they've done some renovations to it, dude. It's quick. It's not the fastest ride in the park, but it's damn quick. So,
I love the Matterhorn though.
Matterhorn
The
is
Matterhorn is
nothing
worth
but back pain, in my opinion. But
When was
it's
the
pain-
last time you went?
it's literally last month. It was painful. We went on it one
Maybe-
time.
Bro, are we old?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to hear it because I know I'm older than both of you. So.
I'm like 6-7 years older than Nick. I don't even want to. You don't even want to go
I was
there,
gonna
John. You
I
don't
was
even
gonna
wanna
say I
go
got
there.
a kid that just graduated college, for God's sakes.
On paper, you are way older than me.
Oh wow.
Physically, I'm about the same age as you.
That's possible. Well, my point is, kids, is that you notice how I said kids, is that we're talking about a theme park.
I'm a
Galaxy's
child.
Edge is gonna open. It's gonna open at the end of this month. I can't wait to hear about all the madness, but I'm glad I'm not gonna be there. Speaking of Galaxy's Edge, there's John Williams soundtrack is up for the theme park, which is great. The theme for it, it's on Nerdist. I have a link in the show notes for that. Check it out. And we need to move this along to get to what I know is going to be more time consuming than I think it should be. But
Yep.
and since
I will not go over my time limit.
some people are on East Coast time,
Hello.
not me. So
Hello from Indiana.
yeah, so one of us.
Oh,
is,
you were in Indiana?
Mm-hmm.
dude. I didn't tell you that.
I
Yeah.
just went to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Oh my gosh! You mean I could connected with you over the weekend, but Marshall didn't tell me?
See?
Oh,
Yeah, you could have hung out with me at soccer games.
And whoa, that's thrilling. And we probably could have had more people helping me record for our other podcast.
See?
Wow, the connections you make when you tell people things.
I quit.
For the record, John, the same week you got sick, I was sick, and I was hoping to go on that week too.
See?
Are
Are you gonna be okay, Marshall?
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Just Nick, I need you to see my face right now. See what I'm doing? Wait until Pucked in San Diego when there's no less than 12 people and 4 mics and everybody's trying to talk at the same time and me trying to keep everybody on task.
Oh, I'm bringing my own mic. I'm not sharing.
Oh, for God's
Just
sake.
for the record.
Okay, I quit. All right, so moving on. We're moving on. John, you put something in here. Please talk about the thing.
Oh, it literally just came over. Robert Pattinson is cast as the new Batman, so our 4th or 5th or 7th iteration of Batman.
This is to replace Ben Affleck, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So it's Twilight, Robert Pattinson. So
Well, how do we feel about this?
as long as he doesn't sparkle, I'm okay with it.
As long as he's not a vampire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, but Nick, how do you really feel? Okay.
Ooh.
It's going to be fine. Who cares?
No,
It's-
I think it's stupid.
Why?
Because there was nothing wrong with Ben Affleck.
No. There
Ben
was
Affleck,
Dude, there's
Nothing.
nothing wrong with Ben Affleck except he's Ben Affleck, and he's not going to do it. Once those movies tanked, he's gone, dude. He was going to be gone the moment that didn't work. They're lucky they got him in
Wasn't
the
his-
first place.
but it wasn't his decision to leave.
Of course it is. He's Ben Affleck. He can leave. He can do whatever he wants.
No, but this time around, it was not his decision. All of a
Actually,
sudden,
I think
It was,
it
dude.
might
He's
have
gone.
been. I thought he said he had health issues or something. That could have just been the excuse from the
Yeah,
studio.
he can say whatever he wants.
because how I heard it was someone asked him, and he goes, "Yeah, I guess I'm out." Like when someone else said, "Hey, I heard you're no longer playing Batman," and he was like,
Does anybody remember when Ben Affleck signed on to direct the Batman movie?
Oh, I remember.
And now, not only is he not directing, he's also not playing Batman anymore. That is because that didn't work. It didn't work. He got backlash, and he decided that wasn't the best career move for him, so he's gone. He's Ben Affleck. He can do whatever he wants.
"It's a totally normal career move for him. Like he's made a couple good movies." But I'm gonna be
But
honest.
he also
I don't-
directed Argo, award-winning movie.
Yeah, but when it comes to award-winning movies, it's all
I'm
about
with
voting
you.
for your friends.
I'm with you
That's
on that.
my opinion.
I'm with
But
you
like,
on
I don't think Ben Affleck is an A+ actor. Like, I don't think he's
he's
the
pretty,
world's
though.
greatest director.
He's pretty.
But I think he believes he is, and I believe he's done a couple things in his career that have given him those top-notch accolades.
But my point is when Ben Affleck goes to his agent and says, "I don't want to play Batman anymore," they're going to try to figure out a way for Ben Affleck not to play Batman anymore. That's what I think happened. Call me. I don't want to be conspiratorial, but
I mean,
John, what do
hey,
you think?
let's look it up.
I'm going to reserve all judgments
I knew you were going to do that. You suck.
until
I knew you were going to say that.
so let's put it this way. I'm old enough to remember when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman.
Oh, right.
Okay, so
No,
I'm
he
also
was-
old
he-
enough to remember that as well,
He was amazing.
and I got
loved him.
excited.
I loved him.
Right. So I mean, we can't really. Yeah, you give it a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Let's see what
think-
happens.
I think
So-
George Clooney was the worst, though.
Clooney, though. I love Clooney though. Come on now, Clooney's Clooney, man. You gotta love Clooney.
Clooney's the same guy in almost every single movie he plays. What?
Yeah, but
Ah!
he's
Got ya.
Clooney, dude.
Eh, But that's the thing. It's Ben Affleck. If he's Ben Affleck, he should have been
to
like,
be fair,
hey, let's get better damn writers for DC so this shit doesn't tank and I lose money.
agreed. But Ben Affleck was I think, a very good Bruce Wayne.
You thought he was?
I think he's a very good Bruce Wayne.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. Too.
I'll
For
leave
the
it at
storyline that they made,
Right.
it was great, and it was different, and it was unique, and I did enjoy it.
Moving on. I'm moving on. And the reason I'm
See
moving
what I
on
created?
is
One
because
little link.
I don't really care about Robert Pattinson. We'll see how it goes. But my point is, we've all known Affleck was on the way out for
For
a
Robert
while
Pattinson, though, they better be like he's son of Batman that no one knew about, or he's picking up the mantle. I don't want to see him as a Bruce Wayne all of a sudden. It's like,
Okay.
oh, hey, this is Bruce Wayne now.
now. Okay, so that said, where do we think they're going to go with the story? Let's keep it on brand here. So they have this much younger guy coming in to step in, and DC's going, we've got Aquaman, we've got all this stuff going on, and they're going to continue forward with Wonder Woman 2, all that. So, yeah, John, what do you think? Where do you think? Have you heard anything? What are they going to do with this Pattinson, this younger, very clearly not George Clooney?
I have not heard anything at all as to what they're going to do, but we'll see. Because I know they're doing an animated Hush,
Mm-hmm.
but so obviously they're not going to go that direction. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to the beginning again.
They might do an origin again. I would like to see them do a. I don't know who ends up. I'd like them to see I would like to see kind of very much Avengers-esque a passing of the mantle sort of thing, to a new Batman.
Spoiler alert.
Well, look, we already said that at the top of the show. I think I don't know, like, how do I want to say it? Like, is it Nightwing? What is it? There's all these there's all these storylines, right? Like, I would like to see them go somewhere in that route, rather than redoing Batman again, right? I just would like to. I like the old Batman passing on to a new, younger version of himself, and going to the, into the Spider-Verse conversation, kind of thing. That kind of route, like, okay, there's different versions of him, or a way to pass it along to a new Batman. I would like to see that instead.
Can I?
Yes.
I'm with you on this one, and my hope, now that you're bringing up passing of the torch,
Mm-hmm.
is that Ben Affleck makes a guest appearance in this new one, and he passes the torch on, just like in the series Batman Beyond.
And I in my
And
head, as I said it, I was thinking Batman Beyond.
Because
love
that is-
Batman Beyond.
That was simply the greatest handoff ever. Like, I don't mind Nightwing, Robin,
Mhm.
and all those other ones, and like the Red Hood, but I feel like Batman Beyond is the live action that everyone has wanted, and we've
And
never
that'd be
gotten.
so awesome. So awesome. I
Yeah.
like that.
But I don't know. So playing off the rumors, I'm a big fan of the DC Universe TV series.
Mm-hmm.
So
Same.
Arrow, Flash,
All those shows are amazing.
and they are. And I'm very, very sad and mad at the CW for ruining Arrow, and they're gonna be one last season, and then they're done. Because I thought it was really well done for a while there, and then they
no
just took
spoilers.
some-
I'm a couple seasons behind. Sorry.
They took some risks. I haven't watched the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay.
Just because I got mad at them. Okay, they
You don't-
killed a couple people, and I was
You don't
like,
hold grudges
no.
at all. It's no
Oh
big
no,
deal.
not whatsoever. Because I'll probably still watch it.
Magic says Clooney was the worst of them. By the way. Hi, Magic.
Thank you.
Come to San Diego.
Thank
by the way.
you.
Come to San Diego.
Drink a Fresco with me.
Magic's awesome, by the way. She's one of my favorites. Continue.
Yeah, so the rumor that I've heard floating around for a couple years now is that they're actually building up for a Justice League movie, which obviously the current DC films tanked, but I think they could still pull off a Justice League movie as a standalone.
Yeah.
And rumor of, Green Arrow being played by Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy.
All right.
But I would still like to see Oliver Queen from the TV series be pulled up. Even though it said they'll never do that, but
Yeah, I don't think they're going to mix those two universes.
Oh, and then I think they dropped the ball too with the Flash thing. And I talked about this years ago when they brought Homeboy up for the Flash or for the Justice League deal, and I'm just like, okay, so cool. You have an amazing Barry Allen in that Flash TV show. Why would you not take that amazing actor who has really made a pretty incredible Flash and that people are invested in? And why would you not take that and put him in the films? And we've been talking about this for years, and I just feel disappointed that DC really could have done something special there if they had brought some of those characters, some of those actors and characters to the big screen when they started this DCU or whatever they want to call it. You know what I mean? So
totally agree. Stephen Amell he's been one of my favorite DC actors there is.
He's great.
And I'm not going to go on the record and say he's the most phenomenal actor ever, but what he did with Oliver Queen and the Green Arrow was amazing. And that's my favorite DC character.
Yeah. It was a good show.
So
we got invested real early and love the Green Arrow.
And I'm upset that they wouldn't even consider bringing him and is it Grant Gustafson?
Yeah, Grant Gustafson.
Bringing them up, and they even have Wally, who's another speedster too in the Flash series.
Yeah.
The
Flash is my favorite of all of them. I do like the Green Arrow because it's darker. But the Flash, there was something about the family aspect of that kind of got me a little bit. Maybe the black characters probably did too, but I really did like. I really like the Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow is a blast. It's so much fun. I like those characters a lot. So anyway, we can keep going on this, but I think we have two bigger topics to tackle, and we have to do that soon.
Slightly big topic.
Yeah, and again, some people are on East Coast time. So, real quick, I know
it's not me.
It's not you. It's John. So before we keep going, so Black Mirror season 5. Speaking of Marvel and DC characters, did you guys see this? This is amazing. So apparently, Anthony Mackie is going to be in the next Black Mirror series, facing off against the guy who plays I can never say his name. The guy that plays so War Machine. No, not War Machine. That's Cheadle. Anthony Mackie, who plays Falcon, is facing off against the other the dude from the DC Extended Universe, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. I was trying to avoid saying that, but here we are. So
what character does he play?
I'm not sure who they're playing, but
who does he play in DC?
Oh, he plays Aquaman. He's in Aquaman. He's I think he plays
Black Mantis.
Black Mantis. Yeah, he plays Black Mantis. Yeah.
If you would have just said the guy that plays Black Mantis, I would have gotten that.
Okay, well, again, I was trying to figure out a way not to say the name, but I said it and I ruined it. So here we are. The guy who played Flash. All right, so that's gonna be cool. I love Black Mirror. That's gonna be amazing. Big, huge news right now is in Hulu realm. Disney has acquired full control of Hulu.
Son of a bitch! Are you serious?
I honestly, this just came out like yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, we were texting about this.
Yeah, I actually thought when you texted me this, I thought this was residual from the 20th Century Fox acquisition, but it's not. This is a whole different deal. This has to do with Disney and Comcast getting together.
Right.
And I think and this is residual from Fox, right? Because part of Comcast is with Fox. Is that true?
Maybe I don't. I'm not gonna say
I'm trying to.
for sure.
I for some reason I thought I heard somewhere that Hulu was coming with the Fox deal. But anyway, so this is what it says. Disney and Comcast announced a new deal on Tuesday, giving Disney full operational control of Hulu going forward. This takes effect immediately, though Comcast still owns 33% of the streaming company. So the two companies have entered what's called a put-call agreement, which means that there's a 5-year tentative contract in place. As early as 2024, Comcast can require Disney to purchase NBC Universal's 30% ownership stake, etc. So thoughts?
So Disney came in and said, "Hey, we've got 66%, so we're taking the big office in the corner, and you're going to need to move over to the other side of the building."
Yeah, they're just like, can we have all the things now? Because we have the money. Can we just have it?
We own all the things anyway, so what's the difference? It's like we said the other Disney money is just crazy.
It's crazy money, dude. And
unbelievable.
I'm really, really interested to see how much extra revenue the Disney parks alone take in when Star Wars Land opens. I'm very curious to see, and the boost with every Star Wars video game that goes along with that I want to see what obviously episode 9 is going to break records, and we've got Endgame breaking records. I mean, it's really just it's Disney's show right now as far as storytelling and the big box office. And now TV and streaming. Mm-hmm. I mean, Disney Plus, you'd be a moron not to get Disney Plus. Do you realize how much content you get for $7 a month?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
$7 a month. You have access to every single Disney movie and TV show, not to mention 2 new live-action Star Wars shows, plus anything else under the sun they decide to throw in there that they own already. You know? And The Simpsons. The Simpsons as well comes along with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So think about things like that. Like these and X-Men and all these things that people aren't thinking about, but it's going to be a big factor down the line. Nick, you have words to say.
Now owns the United States of America.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a Disney CEO or a Disney exec just to come in and sit in here and be like, so how's your podcast going? So, so just so you know, you can't say anything about this, and this.
We're screwed.
We are screwed. What do you think, Nick? You have words.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I just did a brief search because I didn't know this.
You didn't know this.
But yeah, and it's just like one of those like
I like to break news too.
It's gonna change Netflix for the worse. Like, so the 3 or 4 articles I just glanced at, no one is predicting this or even saying this is good for the consumer.
So,
okay.
So I guess I'm going to take my, I guess you call it my libertarian point of view on things. Mm-hmm, but I will say that I think it'll actually make Netflix better because I think it's going to increase the competition and everybody's going to have to raise their game. Well, but that's just my opinion.
And I'm 100% hearing what you're saying only in that because Netflix has been alone for a while. It's been at the top and throwing so much money and so much original, amazing content, like Black Mirror, like we were just talking about. I love
their original content's great.
It's phenomenal. Black Mirror, Russian Doll, Bird Box. I mean, there's some phenomenal original stuff out there from Netflix, and they've been doing it for years and years and years. The fact that the Disneys of the world are catching up, other people have tried streaming services and are still doing it. CBS, what's the other big one?
YouTube,
Hulu. I mean, all these guys are still going, but nobody's been able to touch Netflix yet. I feel like right now Disney's going to be the first one to really give them a run for their money. Eventually, nothing Disney is affiliated with is going to be on Netflix. That's one thing. But not only that, it's going to force
NBC.
them. Right. But it's going to force them. It's going to force Netflix to up their game even more. Throw even more money at even more amazing original content and make sure people keep their subs. It's not going to be. And the fact that Netflix just increased their prices and Disney Plus just put out that they're doing it for $7, it's going to make it so people can keep both. Mm-hmm. Right? For a while at least. You know,
Right, and don't forget. I mean, if you think back to when, like, the streaming services and video and everything else first started, Netflix put freaking Blockbuster out of business.
Yeah.
They know how to compete.
Single-handedly,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So I can't you can't count them out because I think they'll come out swinging.
And I agree with that. And I think once they kind of what do we got November when Disney Plus comes out, I think Netflix is probably already posturing, figuring out what they're going to do to combat this. But they have a lot of money too. They don't have Disney money, but no one does. So, you know what I mean? But they have Netflix money, and they've been throwing Netflix money around forever. You know, you still have the comedy shows. You still have things that people have to go to Netflix to see, right? So let's see how it shakes out. But honestly, I like the competition. I like that with the sheer amount of content that's out there right now, that there are companies that are trying to figure out how to keep you only going to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
I use my Hulu for my TV shows and Netflix are for movies.
Right.
And I like that setup. I enjoy that. But like it, you know, with this acquisition that Disney now fully controls it, there, you know, a lot of the NBC shows are going to be pulled from Netflix and Hulu now. You know,
And they'll
so
find
there's
a
a
home.
lot of stuff they're going to lose.
They'll find
Right.
a home.
Well, NBC has their own streaming stuff, you know.
HBO
I don't know.
has theirs as well. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't foresee this actually hurting Netflix because Disney's very closely associated with all the kids show. This is just going to give an outlet for parents to have a better kids section.
Yeah. I think Star Wars is going to be a factor in that, and the Disney kids shows will be a factor where people will feel like they have to get the Disney Plus. But at the same time, when you think about binging a TV show, what is the first thing in your head? Netflix, right? Netflix is going to be the place where, and Disney Plus is not going to do this. They're not going to put up The Mandalorian, all 12 episodes or whatever that's going to be. They're not. They've already said they're not. So the binging part is still going to be a market that Netflix can hone in on. You know what I mean? Especially when they have shows like Black Mirror, for example, right?
Stranger Things.
And Stranger Things is a huge property. Huge property for Netflix.
Prince.
And the Dragon Prince. My kids love that. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
I love it.
I love it too. I mean, the writing, I mean, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We'll talk about that soon, Nick, on Just Keep Writing. So I have thoughts. But the point is, guys, we have to move on to the two bigger things. Not the Stranger
We're still not
Things.
there. Holy
We're
smokes.
still not there, and we have to do this soon, quickly.
Stop having things to say to me.
Well, here we are, buddy. You came on the show. I'm just kidding. So, all right. What do you want to do first, guys? Do you want to do Game of Thrones or Endgame first? John, what do you prefer?
It doesn't matter to me. I'll defer to our guests.
And I'm only throwing this out there because it's super late where you are. Do you want to?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
We're good.
Let's try to end all this within 30 minutes if possible, at the most.
Oh, I can do it in less than that.
Okay.
Let's do Game of Thrones.
All right.
Do Game of Thrones.
We'll do Game of
Oof.
Thrones. Oh,
Okay.
God. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Because I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. 'Cause
All right.
Like I said, I got one episode, so it'll be fun.
My Endgame opinion is not very long, per se.
Well, and I don't think we're going to get into Endgame opinions. And in fact, we could even talk about Endgame next time we do the show. So we could,
Either way.
we'll figure this out. So, all right. Game of Thrones, season 8. So first of all, I have to put out an article that is in the show notes because in the show notes I have to talk about it. George R. R. Martin has come forward and said that the rumor that books 6 and 7 are finished is far from the truth. And I knew this already. And I'm glad that he's coming out and said that it's not, because by the gods, man, I'm in the camp that we're never gonna get those books, but here we are.
No, we will.
No, we
Someone
will.
else will just finish them.
Yeah, We will, but
He's gonna outline them, and someone else will have to finish
Yeah,
it.
I just don't
It's going to be a
foresee-
Robert Jordan situation. where
Yeah.
somebody like Brandon
Yeah.
Sanderson will have to come in and finish it.
Exactly, and that's fine with me. But I just feel like to say that people are saying, "Oh, it's done. He's just waiting for the show to end." That's bunk. It's just not what's happening. They're just
I never
not done.
believed that.
They're just not done. They're huge epics. Huge epics.
Well, not only that, like, you know, I factor in his age and his health and all the other stuff he's been doing the lot since Game of Thrones has been popular.
Mhm.
Why does he want to write these books? He's living the life of a rock star.
Exactly.
Like, at like, I swear, age 100.
Yeah, he's
But
at best
why
he's 100.
he's still making money?
Agreed.
Like, someone else paid him to finish the books for him.
Mm.
Like,
So, that aside, let's talk about Game of Thrones season 8. Now, I read the books, all the 5 books, and I watched all of the shows. I am not a. You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna defer to Nick. Here, what do you want? What do you want to bring to the table today with Game of Thrones? Because I'm gonna put this on Front Street, and anybody who has listened to this show for 4.5 years that I've been doing it, I'm an easy sell with things I like. I like Star Wars. If it's a Star Wars movie, I'm probably gonna like it. It may not be my top Star Wars movie, but here we are. I personally, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones. I like the show. I'm a fan of season 8. I said it. So
if you're not a fan of season 8, then you have not been paying attention.
Right.
And you had this overwhelming hope, and you don't and this is probably going to be offensive, but you don't understand the concept of closing storylines to end an entire series.
Exactly. And also, I'm gonna throw out there too before you finish that thought is I call what's going on right now kind of the Star Wars syndrome. It's you go to see a Star Wars movie, you go see The Last Jedi, and you're upset that it didn't go the way you thought. Okay, it didn't go the way you thought, but that doesn't mean that the movie's bad, and it also doesn't mean that the story they're trying to tell isn't getting told. Do you see what I'm saying?
And I want to say very clearly, that doesn't mean the writing's bad either.
Right. And I'm glad you're here.
I have a point to this too, because so at work, you know, there's a few hundred of us, and we have Slack channels, and one of them is Game of Thrones.
Right.
And I've been, since the episode released, I've been in not heated debates, but it's been an ongoing debate of why that episode sucked. The most recent one, that person's thoughts on it, and there's a few other people that agree with him, but yeah, it turned into like everyone started posting the Michael Jackson eating popcorn meme, just waiting for us to go back and forth for like this last week.
Oh, so
in
you're
our
getting into
argument.
it. All right.
I will be actually making a video highlighting the last 7 seasons of what has led up to season 8 and how it has been foreshadowed since episode 3, season 1.
And not only the foreshadowing has been there for sure. And what I find hilarious is the people. Okay. And I was hoping I wasn't gonna rant, but I'm gonna rant. The Jamie thing bothers me. The Jamie thing bothers me that people are like, Jamie would never do that. Why wouldn't Jamie do
What?
that?
Jamie
Jamie Lannister has done nothing but show that he loves his freaking sister. So when given the choice, when push comes to shove, and the world is, excuse my language, the world is fucking ending. By the way, spoilers. The world is ending. He's going to go and be with the person he loves. Yes, he breaks freaking Brienne of Tarth's heart because he doesn't love her like he loves Cersei. Period. It's insane to think he would do what I think is hilarious. What if the writers had decided to be like, okay, well, he runs off with Brienne of Tarth and they have a farm together. What the fuck kind of storytelling is that? There's no way that makes any sense for that character. It's about character. And it's about the fact that these characters like that, like Jamie, don't change. He's never going to change. He only has everything that he has done for 7 seasons and countless books or whatever has been for her. That's it. So to change that at the very end is insane. It's insane.
So this
Sorry,
this
John.
is why I
Spoilers.
think
No, well, is that which one is that goatee guy, the
This
angry
is
elf, or
Golden
is
Hand
that
guy.
the boy band teen?
Yeah,
in
we're
the
talking about
wheelchair?
Golden Hand guy.
Oh, Golden Hand guy. Okay, thank you.
so. And this is my point to where I think the writing is actually brilliant in this season, because you know who Jamie was, right?
Right.
And you've got to see his character develop where he recognizes the wrongs, where he recognizes where he's been a bad person.
There is an arc there.
You see him go through regret. You see him go through changes to where
Reconcile
he
with
leaves-
his brother.
he leaves Cersei to go fight the Night King's army.
Yep.
Like, because he's like, I'm on the side of the living. Like,
Right.
I don't care about you, Cersei. This is right. And then you see he recognizes he has a chance with someone else.
Right.
Right? And then you have hope for Jamie. You've had hope for the last 3 seasons that Jamie was going to turn out to be the guy that you thought he was always meant to be.
He's not that guy. It's insane.
And that is what that's why the writing's brilliant to me, is because they've given you hope over the last 7 seasons,
Right.
and they played the Game of Thrones to your heart and ripped it out.
And John will appreciate this reference. It is nothing in this show should be a Darth Vader redemption. Almost
No.
nothing should be, because they've never, from the beginning of the books or the show, have promised that anybody's going to come out of this a better person, right?
Well, and that's the thing. I would argue that Tyrion is the only one that's going to come out a better person.
But Tyrion, because of his upbringing and his disabilities and everything else, he has to become a better person to give us hope, right? But the thing is, dude, he was a terrible person, realized it, but he was always good at heart. In the very first
Yeah.
season, in the very first season, you see how good at heart he was, because he had that conversation with Bran in the beginning, right? Was
Yeah.
it Bran in the first season, where he's having
Mhm.
these conversations with people, and you see that he's not who he's putting out there that he is, right?
I think it was John, actually.
It was Jon.
but-
Yes, sorry. It was Jon Snow.
Mhm.
Yes. He has this great relationship with Jon Snow. Jon is the only one that knows that Tyrion is not this asshole imp, right? But everybody's
Right.
putting him in a box, right? All of that aside, I think it's insane to think that a lot of these characters are, although they have arcs, and I would like to talk about Arya in a minute, but they have arcs. Jaime had an arc. He got better, but he's still not going to not go back to her. Period. There's no
And that-
scenario where that happens.
You don't spend 40 years of your life loving someone like that, having children with them. I don't care.
With a child on the way.
With the child on the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jamie's heart's always been with Cersei, no matter what she's done. He's even said it. He goes, no matter what,
Yeah.
I cannot stop loving her. Like, and it was so fitting, because he knew what was gonna happen. He knew Dany was gonna win.
Right.
And I think, to me, his character was saying he doesn't want her to be alone when she dies.
Right. And it
And
worked.
it didn't have anything to do with him. It was his guilt of not being there for when she was dead.
He needed to be there. And I think it also worked for Brienne's character. That was,
It was perfect
It was-
for her.
of course she's going to get her heart broken. Of course she is.
She's never
Bri-
trusted anyone.
Right.
Is Brienne blonde or redhead?
She is,
She's the extremely tall blonde who also plays Captain Phasma.
she's Phasma,
Okay, gotcha.
the actress
gotcha.
that plays Phasma.
Gotcha.
I honestly, dude, like, I did not dive into the internet on this because I don't care. First of all,
I didn't have a choice.
and you
Because it
dove
was all over work.
and you sent me stuff, and I'm like, and I like that we were on the same page, and I feel like we're on the same page because as storytellers, that all of this stuff clicked, and people are like, "Oh, the writing is terrible." It's like, or hear me out. You never saw any of this coming because you weren't paying attention to the writing until the end, right? You never paid attention until the end.
So this is the spoiler alert moment. Like, Dany goes crazy. Dany loses her dragon torches King's Landing. She is like, she's over it, right?
She was also never sane.
Okay, here's my biggest argument for that. Is everyone's like, she's done so many good things. She freed slaves. She's done this. And it's like,
she killed so many people.
How many people did she kill because they wouldn't bend the knee?
And tell me she had to, and this scene killed me. This was, I think, one of my favorite scenes from this last season, was that moment where she looks at poor Sam and tells him, "Oh yeah, you're related to them. I killed them. They didn't bend the knee." And he's like, "Oh, thanks for telling me." And he goes off and fucking cries because
doesn't she even say, "Is that going to be a problem?"
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa.
Of course it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for him, but that's how she rolls. And that was yet another indicator that was, she has no problem burning innocent people to get to where she wants to be.
And it's funny because everyone's like, no, the Tarleys were justified. And it's like, how? How was the killing of the Tarleys justified?
It wasn't.
She invaded them.
Yeah. It's an invading force.
And they fought back. Mm-hmm. And then decide, no, I'm not going to bend my knee and go fight the crown that's been backing me for the last hour.
And then she rounded them all up and said, who's with me and who's not? And burned the ones who weren't. I mean.
Oh, what's that? Just like your dad used to do? Huh.
Anyway.
Give me a break, man. This is why I think it's great. And this is my biggest argument. The one thing I do agree is they could have displayed the character arc of her losing it.
Yeah.
These last 3 episodes a little bit better, but I caught it. And I knew what was going to happen. Like, once she came to King's Landing and started, once she took out all the scorpions, I was like, it's not this easy.
It's not going to stop because the bells. It was the bells. When the bells rang, that was her moment to choose.
Yeah. And that was her moment of, I'll get to that in a minute. But so Dany's a Targaryen. They are known for incestual relationships and stuff like that, right? Not a problem. But there's the Targaryen rage. They're always referred to as dragons because of their rage, right? Rewatch this entire season and pay attention to every time Dany has had a choice with her advisors. Her initial instincts are always to react emotionally and hurt other people.
Yep.
It is the fact that she's had advisors there since she was 13 years old to guide her through these things.
And even with Tyrion at her side, who is playing both sides, not both sides, but just talking to both sides, trying to talk to her and say, okay, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do this. Okay. And then who was it that told her, when the bells ring, you're going to stop, right? Everything's going to be fine, right? Was it Tyrion? I can't remember. It might have been.
So he did tell her, he goes, hey, if the bells rings, it's over because the bells are the sign of surrender. Right.
So when that moment, and I could see it coming, as soon as those bells rang, she's already burning shit. There's no scenario where she stops burning because all she sees is a throne. And that's it. And that's all she's ever seen.
But it's not about the throne at that point.
Are you sure?
Positive. She already won. She knew she won.
No.
It's not about the throne at that point.
But I think that she thinks, okay, I think we're saying the same thing. I feel like her burning King's Landing is a way of her getting the throne and starting over and burning what was there. Right?
No. I that's not my point of view.
Okay.
How about that?
Continue.
So this is the way I take it, right? Up until that point when the bells rang, she's always had.
We are forgetting Missandei, and Magic just reminded me.
I was just about to bring that
All
one
right.
up.
Sorry, buddy. I got caught
So,
up.
because that's the most important piece there. She's always had advisors with her, guiding her through her things. When advisors weren't there, she did do some pretty nasty things, right? So let's look at in season 8 who she's lost. Ser Jorah,
Hmm.
the man who loved her, never gave up on her.
They did
and
come back,
always
but
came
then he
back.
died.
Right? So he's dead. Tyrion. She lost Tyrion, not obviously he's alive, but she lost the trust of him
Mm.
because he's made a couple mistakes in regards to his own family.
Okay.
Varys betrayed her.
Oh, that guy. Don't get me started on him. I love him, by the way.
I actually think he was been the most genuine character
Yeah,
throughout the entire series.
I love that character.
So Varys betrays her. Jon, and this is the point where she decided she was going to burn the city, or at least lean towards it very heavily. Jon didn't return her affection for him to be her lover.
Well, to also hang on to that last little sliver of like, can I actually make this work? Will Jon be at my
Yeah.
side, kind of thing. I'm with you. Yep.
And the reason I bring that point up is Jon is like, yeah, you're my queen, but she kisses him. She's like, hey, we can still do this. He doesn't return the affection, and then she's like that. And at this point, you already know Jon has the love of the North. Jon's a good man. He's gonna earn the loyalty and respect of people. And she's known for this entire episode, she can't do that. She cannot control them with love without Jon by her side.
Right.
And she even says after, okay, it's like that, I'll do it by fear. She's going to rule them by fear now. She's going to send a message, you should fear me, I am the queen of dragons. I am the mother of dragons.
And let's throw in there a couple other factors. The one that Magic is bringing up, revenge. It's important because Missandei has been beside her this whole time.
Yeah.
The Unsullied have been there, and then
I was gonna say that was the tipping point was
and that
Missandei.
and that's a huge tipping point. But the other thing on the writing side of it, in order for Jon Snow to be the character that we were promised in the very beginning of this show, a bastard, part of a noble family, and we find out eventually he's part of even the same family.
to fulfill all the
For
prophecies.
that to happen, she has to go insane, and she has to fulfill her prophecy of being mad so that he can step up and become what he needs to be. And that is the character that we have followed this whole time. If he hadn't come back from the dead in season 5 or whatever that was when he got killed, that would have been fine. But he's back for a reason, because that's the character that that we identify with, that needs to fulfill his prophecy. That's the Luke Skywalker of this story. Is Jon
No, I
Snow,
agree.
and he has to need to take the throne, not say, "Oh, you can have it, and I'll just hang out."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I can't see the chat system, so Magic, I apologize if I'm missing anything.
No,
over there.
Magic said her friend was killed. Revenge, and that's where we got off of that.
I agree that it was revenge, but it wasn't at the same time. Missandei dies. Last words, Dracarys.
Right.
Go back to all the other seasons when Missandei was her helper and her advisor. There are moments where Missandei says, "Be the dragon you're always meant to be."
Right.
That, and I think that is key to where, yes, she wants revenge, but that's echoing back. Like, that action is echoing back for Dany to be herself, which leads to all her advisors who's always try to basically control her and lead her and try to make her a good leader. And she didn't have anyone there this time. She even looked at
Right.
Tyrion, doesn't trust him, and
She's alone.
She
She's
spreads
alone.
fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's been there the entire time. And the moments where she's forced to make good decisions for the betterment of her reputation, that's when the advisors were there. And that's the hope that everyone hung on to,
Right.
which is why I say it's great writing, because they took your hope, they packaged it in a little bow, and they curb stomped the shit out of it.
But that is-
and said, go F yourself.
But that's always been George R. R. Martin's MO. That's the way
And
he
that's what-
writes.
But it was predictable to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
no, not
predictability
predictable.
aside, it's what I get frustrated with fandom right now and this goes with Star Wars and Game of Thrones and whatever else you want to throw into there, is that when people get upset that it didn't go the way they thought it would, or the way that they think it should, or whatever else under the sun, like, well, it's terrible writing because they should have done this. It's like, well, you're not the showrunner, and for a reason, right? These guys are running millions and millions of dollars goes into these episodes. They didn't just pick some dude off the street, right? These are storytellers. They're telling a story, and you can. I feel like calling out the writing is a sore point for me because all of this is, if you look at it in the scope of the tale and the books and everything else, all of this was going to happen. There's no other way it could have. It's not gonna be a freaking Ewok moment. You know?
I mean, look at the House of the Undying.
Yeah.
What's the vision that she sees? Fire, fire, fire. She can't get to the throne. She's reunited with her dead baby and Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
What is the prophecy behind Jon that keeps being said and said and said again? You know, the Azor Ahai or whatever it is. I can't ever pronounce it. The Red Lady saying, "No, that's the true king."
Right.
And
he has to embrace
what?
it. That's the only way this will end happily, quote unquote happily, is if Jon Snow is on the Iron Throne. Period.
And he cannot embrace it until he realizes he's the only person to stop it. And that's always what's driven Jon. Back to the Red Lady, right?
Right.
Where Beric Dondarn has been risen many, many, many times. And then she says he served his purpose for being back alive.
Yep. Exactly.
What is Jon's
and then
purpose?
He finally dies.
If Jon kills Dany and then he dies in the same breath, he's just fulfilled 3 prophecies right then and there.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, I'm aware that it's 1:00 on the East Coast. John Skeen probably has to work in the morning. Do we want to postpone our endgame discussion? Or
I didn't hear about your Arya discussion.
Or do we? I want to talk about Arya so bad right now. Or how about I can do.
Why don't you talk about Arya, and we'll postpone Endgame until next week or 2 weeks or whatever our next show is.
And does Magic have anything to say right now?
Because I'm enjoying the interaction that you guys are having.
Magic is amazing.
It's very deep.
She says, let's see, Jon will be on the throne raising their kid. I love it. She will be dead. Okay. So I want to go back to Arya real quick. And I'm okay with postponing.
Which one's Arya?
Arya is my favorite, the little one. The little assassin.
Okay, so if you remember in that episode, the very big tall guy that turned to the little girl and said, "You don't want to do this. Look at what a lifetime of revenge has gotten me." And then she turns around and walks away.
I think he's only watched the first episode of season 8, though.
Yeah.
Arya was.
Oh.
The only line I really remember is, "If you want a whore, buy one. If you want a queen, earn one." I mean, I've heard that a lot of times.
I feel like we're spoiling. We've spoiled everything for poor Jon, but
it's okay.
He'll be okay.
I'll send you a picture of her.
Yeah. So all that aside, we are going to postpone our endgame discussion, and John and I will come back and talk about this next week. John, you're my hero. Thank you for bearing with us. We really.
Oh no, I'm enjoying this.
I have
John,
one more.
it was good to meet you.
I have one.
It's good to meet you. Plus, I just spat out something, and I'm not trying to get us off subject.
Yeah, go ahead.
But number one, Nick, I see from your Twitter page that you're a vet, so thank you very much for your service. Number one, I appreciate
Thank you for
that.
supporting me.
And number two is you and I have something else in common: the fact that we're both cancer survivors. So good on you, man.
So if you actually listen to Just Keep Writing, episode 4? 5.
4.
There's an episode I actually discussed that
5
in depth. So I've actually had 2 types of cancers, thyroid cancer, and then currently diagnosed with leukemia. So,
well, like I said, good on you, man. You're a deep intellectual person, and I can tell the joy that you have about writing, just on the in-depth discussions that you're having right now, and I'm extremely impressed. So keep at it, my friends. Here, continue with your discussion. I just
that is such a big pump up for me, and thank you so much, John. I'm I don't know, I feel like I'm blushing over here and everything.
To be fair, boys, I'm literally trying not to cry because I brought you guys together.
Dude, this is what I love networking within this type of community
This is
because
what
you
it's
just
about.
never know who you're gonna run into. So, John, we gotta talk offline too.
Absolutely, anytime.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep in contact. So
He's in the Pucked group, by the way.
Yeah.
John
oh,
is in the Pucked group.
Yep.
okay then.
So you can hit him on Twitter easily. But before, can we? Okay, all I wanna-
Arya.
So Arya is my favorite character. Period. I love that storyline. I love the Faceless Men. I'm a sucker for assassins. Okay. I think I had a little bit of a hard time in this last episode, only in that I was like, why is she running away? This is so not like her. And then I realized after the fact what was actually happening. And this is where the writing works. She made the decision, talking to the Hound, she made the decision to say, well, okay, I'm going to walk away from my list. I'm going to walk away from this obsession. And I'm going to try to find a way to be happy. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But I feel like she's walking away from all of this obsession for a reason. And then she's in a shitstorm, literally. And she's getting fire rained down on her, barely survives, etc. I don't know what's going to happen for her next, but I found that moment where she was she in that room with the folks, and she ended up helping them at the end of the episode. I think that made sense for her character, and I think that what I like after that is for her to find something bigger than this obsession, right? And that's an arc, right? That's the story arc. I feel like that you're cringing. You disagree. Continue. No, I've said what I was going to say. I think that in her head, she wants to go and be with Gentry or whatever that dude's name is, but I feel like she's going to die, and she's going to die horribly, and that's going to be it for her.
I might just be shocking you here because it is George R. R. Martin, and there's always because he wrote the series to expose the harshness of war, the true things that actually happen.
Right. And that was a straight up battle war scene. Her running through those streets.
Yeah.
Right?
No, to be honest with you, military service, Afghanistan, bombing cities and stuff like that, stuff happens. Right. And bro, like that's a play on war, man. That is what civilians have to go through when a country's at war and they're being attacked.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that moment she turns away, I feel like you're alluding to that it's fear, not a decision.
No.
Okay, because I don't think that's in her character to run from fear. She's not afraid. I think she's afraid running through those streets.
No, so, and that's it. And this is, okay, so here's my theory on Arya, right?
Okay.
Arya, I love Arya. She's not my favorite character. She is my favorite character arc.
Bye, Magic. Have a good night.
Bye, Magic.
Bye, Magic. Favorite character arc because and this is a play on gender roles. I feel like a lot too. She's always told she had to be something. She had to be something, but she was better at other things that the boys were supposed to be good at. She wasn't supposed to be good at because she's a lady, right? We see that conflict in the first season really, really heavily.
Right.
And then she loses her way. She loses her guidance. She meets the Faceless Man and all this and goes through all that. And her character arc, to me, she's becoming death. She loses her attachments to the world, to things.
All right, I can see that.
She's going around killing people. The Faceless God. I mean,
yeah, I get that, but at this point in this last season, in this episode, I feel like she's let all of that go. I feel like she's not.
I think she wants to, and she tried to, because they all kind of made it very clear, like you'll end up like me, and I'm a miserable bastard, and everyone knows it,
But
right?
the faceless man version of herself would have stalked up and helped him kill the mountain. In my opinion.
But and this is my theory behind everything on this one. That was the moment where Arya realized that there was more out there than her list.
Right.
There was out on by choice.
Right.
But the going through the street, this doesn't happen unless it's for a reason. The same mom and the same child, the entire episode, she keeps running into. Guess who that is?
You think that's Homeboy?
That's Homeboy and the Apprentice, bro.
Yeah.
It straight up is. The pale
I
horse
didn't
at
think
the
about
end
that.
covered him. The pale horse at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Arya's
that
Arya's
horse.
character arc was
Right.
she wanted death. She wanted to complete her list. By the time she decides it's not worth it because of the Hound,
Cersei's
it's
dead.
too late.
Right.
It's too late for her character. She is the living embodiment of the faceless god now.
All right.
She's becoming the faceless god,
So she's
which is why the
she's
horse
gonna be
comes
the
so
next.
calmly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm with you.
think this is one of those character arcs where you've gone too far to come back.
Okay. Yeah, and I like that better, but I think I was
She's not gonna go back to Gendry. It's too happy.
yeah. And I hope not, because that's not what I want. But what I'm thinking is that was what was partially what was in her going through her mind when she was talking to the Hound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guaranteed.
But I
mean,
like
she
the
fucked
idea
with
of
the
bringing
guy.
back Homeboy at the end and really making solidifying that story and letting her carry on the Faceless Men or something like that in the future. I think that'd be great.
I think she is gonna be the person to carry that on.
Yeah, and
I
I
think
hope
she's-
so. I hope so. That makes sense for her story.
And she's gonna leave Westeros
Yeah, I can see that too. Okay.
because she's always talked about wanting to explore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the pale horse at the end that really sold it for me.
Mhm.
And I was like, she's death.
Mhm.
Like and everyone was like, why does she get to calm a horse in the middle of a battle? Like,
Right.
why is the, and it's like, bro,
'Cause
like
who else could?
it's a freaking metaphor, people.
Yeah,
Like, so I think she's gonna be the embodiment of death. That's what she represents. She
And
could
that's
be
what-
dead too.
Well, and that she could already be dead, and she also that might be the bridge to becoming the next Faceless Man leader guy. I don't know what they call him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, totally agree. I've loved her character arc from the beginning. The Hound gave her hope at the end, and
Yeah.
what did George R. R. Martin do with hope? In my opinion,
He crushes it every time.
yeah, and that's why I also think Danny probably. There's a good chance that this ends with Danny on the throne and Jon dead.
No, I have no doubt, and I think
But, you
it's
know,
all
like
it's a cycle. I mean, that would actually make sense because, and then there's gonna have to be another Kingslayer, and then we have to do the whole game again. It's a game of Thrones, right? It's a game.
and the perfect ending for me. Danny gets the throne. Jon goes back and starts the Kingdom of the North
Yeah, be safe.
and moves it beyond the wall.
That'd be badass. Yeah.
Because winter's gone and it's going to start heating up. But along the way, someone's killing that dragon.
Yeah. Oh, that dragon's dead.
That dragon.
That dragon gone. That dragon gone. I apologize. We could not get to our in-game discussion, but I think I would like to go see the movie one more time. I think it's still playing in my town, so I'm gonna go and see that. We're gonna wrap this up, but the last couple things I want to say as far as convention stuff is that and this is the reason I like Nick being here. And John being here as well is because you guys haven't seen this, but there's a lot of stuff that goes out outside of the convention area. One of them is at Petco Park, and there's a huge interactive zone that's coming back to Comic-Con for 2019, which is going to be amazing. I have a link in the show notes to that. I also put a link in here, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing. Some of the myths surrounding San Diego Comic-Con, and one of the things I want to put out there is that you have to have badges and you have to be able to get on the convention floor to enjoy it. You don't. San Diego is amazing, but the town around it, the Gaslamp district has embraced it, and it's a blast, dude. Absolute blast. There's activations is what they call them, offsite events, parties, all this stuff goes on, and the convention closes somewhat early. There's amazing restaurants and all kinds of stuff to do outside. So don't think if you're hesitant and you're like, well, I don't have passes or whatever. I would like to go hang out with Nick and Marshall, but whatever. Do it anyway. Nick doesn't have badges. We're gonna have a blast. And like I said, we're doing our event Pucked 4, which I'm bridging into right now. Again, July 19th, 5 p.m. Mission Brewing Company. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do a live podcast, and we're gonna talk to all our geeky friends and talk about. I imagine just about everything under the sun, every announcement that's going to come up around there, there'll be a whole bunch. So,
for you riders out there that are listening, Marshall and I will also be doing a ride-in night, and it's free flowing and stuff like that, so we can get together and write. And also, if you happen to think our discussion of Endgame was awesome and want to hear more,
I mean Game of Thrones,
or yeah, that too. Come on, it's the same thing.
Pretty much.
I mean, if you want to hear from writers' perspectives on everything, you guys should come check us out.
No, and it's no secret. I am now producing 2 podcasts, one called Just Keep Writing and one, obviously, the one you're listening to. And it's going to be, this year, Comic-Con is going to be kind of a merging of the two. Thursday night, Comic-Con, we're going to have a writing session, and then we're going to go into a BarCon kind of thing, probably in Pacific Beach area near where we're staying, and then of course our event Friday night, and then we'll let you know if anything else comes up on the other nights. But definitely come down there; it's going to be amazing. And Mr. John Skeen, you've been quiet for so long. What did you think of Endgame, buddy?
I loved Endgame, and the fact that, just to me, the writing was amazing, and the fact that they were able to tie 22 movies together. I mean, just
the fact they pulled the damn thing off.
That is such a daunting task.
Yeah.
I can't. And we'll go more obviously into that,
Yeah.
In our next discussion. But to me, that's holy smokes.
Right.
And don't forget about your third podcast that you're starting called Why the Hell Not? Let's
Yeah.
just do 3.
I'm thinking about the third one is what I'll call it.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh God, don't get Nick started. I'm not starting a third podcast, by the gods, man. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Because I already
See his
get
face?
limited time with you.
He has an idea. All right.
I don't have an idea.
Yeah.
We're going to do our own conference and convention, though.
Yeah, we are going to do some stuff. So keep in these channels. Mr. Skeen and myself will come back. Maybe Nick will join us for our in-game conversation in the next week or two. And
Because it's been a good 3-way.
Yeah, it's been a great 3-way. And I think
My first one, and I enjoyed it.
I think it was all our first times. And I think it's
I
very
did leave for a
important.
little while.
Well,
Technical problems.
John and I enjoyed our time together without you. It was fine. So I'm going to wrap this one up, but we are going to come back and talk about Endgame. Sorry, John, we have to put it off again. But
It's all good, man.
But dude, I'm going to go see it again. I love these films, and again, I'm with you. The fact that they pulled the damn thing off was phenomenal. And I think at this point, us talking about it is more of a formality. It's not like we have to warn people about spoilers, but I would like to talk about the things that I liked and didn't, and the things I liked and what I think they're going to do going forward. So we'll save that for next time, dude, since we're freaking well over an hour and a half into this bad boy. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to turn it back to John to say a thing in a minute. So thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast.com. And find us on all the social medias. I'm not going to say them all this time because I don't want to. But we're all on all of them. I'm at Darth Pops on Twitter. John is John at John R. Skeen. And Nick is
Bright Inks.
Bright Inks. Thanks for joining us, by the way. It was wonderful.
Thanks for having me and
Yeah, it was awesome.
letting me talk.
And please support the show. Patreon.com/usualpodcast. audibletrial.com/usualpodcast. Get an audiobook on us. If you like writing, if you like books, if you like storytelling, check out Just Keep Writing as well. Another podcast me and Nick do. Nick and myself do. I don't know. There's some grammar in there that works. And free audiobook on us, audibletrial.com/usual podcast. And please support us and like us and tell all of your friends. Mr. Skeen, thank you for staying up so late. I hope you enjoyed yourself, dude.
You know, I didn't just enjoy myself, but I actually had a fun.
I'm so glad you did, my friend. And I encourage everyone else to go out there and have a fun. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks, Nick. Dude, I was trying to set you up, John, for that so much better than that. I really tried.
Oh, it's all good, dude. I was gonna say, you know, tune in next week when we talk about Endgame and
Right.
have a fun doing
And,
so.
and have a
But
fun doing so, right?
I had so many things running through my head, but then the mix between sleepiness and Angel's Envy, it just wasn't gonna come out right
I'm
anyway.
Sure,
So
dude. I'm sure, man. I'm sorry to keep you up so late, dude.
It's all good, man.
I figured if Nick was on and we were going to talk Game of Thrones, that was going to happen. But, you know, you're a trooper, dude.
You know
and
what got
you're-
it though was all the stuff before it.
Well, all the stuff before it is like our show, dude. We
No,
don't
I'm
just.
talking about like the Hulu thing.
What do you mean? The Hulu thing? Oh, no. Yeah, we ranted a lot about stuff. It's important.
Yeah.
But
So, I
that's
mean,
the
just
the
trying
thing-
to brush off the blame on me
No,
because
I'm
I
not
know
blaming
it's my
you.
fault.
I had a
Oh,
great
I'm
time.
not
It was.
you.
It was.
I'm
really-
blaming myself.
Okay. All right.
So here's what happens, and this is just typical for the usual podcast, and this is why it's unique in podcasting, is it's really should just be called the Tangent Show, because we just
So
go
true.
off on tangents. It doesn't really matter if there's an outline or not, because once something goes, we play off each other and just keep going.
And
So-
and you're so right, dude. Because sometimes I'll just put like, there's a few links. Oh, it'll be a short show, and I'm just like, how is this fucking 2 hours? And it's
Yeah.
because we got off on tangents. Anyway, I'm
when
gonna.
you say it's going to be a short show, that actually means it's going to go.
I shouldn't have said it. I knew I shouldn't have said it. I texted you, I think, and I was like, "Oh, it should be short. It's fine. We'll do all that stuff quick." And then it never happens.
Hey, it's
I-
all good.
I think what you
I'm gonna
should
say
do,
thanks to the chat room. I'm closing the stream down. You're awesome.